Brandon Rheault,
Evan.
Vokey wedge fitting specialist. Thanks for joining me. Evan Priest with Australian Golf Digest. We're here at the Titleist Performance Institute in Southern California. This is a beautiful, beautiful day. Great day to go through some wedge fitting. I'm really excited about this. Tell me about the the updates from the SM10 to the SM11 in the Vokey wedges and what I can expect hitting them.
Yeah, so big thing from SM10 to SM11, we cover 3 key points: contact, flight, and spin. How do we achieve those 3? We always have tour validation first, then we work down to our top amateurs and then ourselves that are out here playing golf on weekends, weekdays, whatever it may be. So big difference from SM10 to SM11. The big focus for us was the change that we had with center of gravity. We've always had the story of our CG going up and back, and that would give us that lower ball flight with more spin. Well, the big thing we found out was there was one special grind from SM10 that was doing so well compared to the rest, and that was the T grind. So we matched up all the SM11 loud wedges to match up with that T grind that was working so well on tour.
So as you take me and others through a wedge fitting, what are you looking for in the beginning?
Right as we start, we like to talk about distance gapping. We have to make sure we go to 4 to 6 degrees of gapping, so we have about a 10 to 15 hour gap in between clubs. After that is finding the right bounce and the right grind. We have 27 different options in these wedges. How do you know which one's going to work well for you? You have to go and hit them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the distance gapping. Then we're going to go through what we call a blind grind test. Blind grind test is where I will tell you, hey, you're hitting a 60 degree, but I'm going to cover it and hand it to you. You don't know the bounce or the grind, and we're going to recreate all the shots you may see on the golf course. Got to make sure a wedge works well in all those different areas. Have you had any issues with this current wedge with softening power? I know you mentioned, hey, sometimes we're going to hit that 40, 50 yard shot.
Yep.
It doesn't have maybe the descent angle or the spin you're looking for. How long have you played with that wedge?
This wedge for about 12 to 18 months. Okay. And it's fantastic at that release. Sometimes it releases a little too much.
Okay, now throughout this entire process, try your best. I know everybody wants to hit a shot. They pick up the club and go, what did I hit? We want you to be blind the entire time. So give me one more with your wedge, and I'm going to hand you the first SM11. This is 54. I won't challenge you that much. So here's, we're going to call this, since you are blind, this is wedge number 1. And then we're going to go through and hit the other 3 and figure out which one is performing and feeling the best.
Well, that's nice. It's got that more grab to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I like to say you heard the ball when it landed on the green. You could hear the backspin. You could hear the ball grab.
The thumps and the spin. I'm really liking the, whether it's more of a descending blow or a cleaner strike, they're all quite consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency is key, so that's one thing. Miss it, but also predictability and consistency. So where'd you put this wedge? I know you mentioned it felt a little bit better than the first wedge you hit. Would you still agree that this wedge is sitting just a little bit above?
I think so, yeah. That felt very forgiving. That was good.
How does this wedge feel?
That felt really nice. I still think wedge number 3 was it?
Yeah.
Was the leader in the clubhouse, but that felt nice.
Okay, so there's been a common theme. There's 2 wedges that stand out to us. If we're looking at your shots that you hit here, I mean, one mo, you couldn't tell that you were even hitting shots.
Yeah.
So you're a shallow player.
Yep.
I don't think we need all the bounce in the 14F.
Okay.
And there's the reason why the 10S was being number 1 in both areas.
Wow.
So I would say we're going to go with the 10S when it comes to the 54.
Yep.
And we're going to do a very similar process when it comes to the 60, but we're going to make the shots just a little bit more challenging. We're going to be working with the lower bounce wedges instead of the higher bounce wedges like the 12D or the 12K. So we have 3 here. We're going to do the same process. We're going to start here, maybe go to another location. We're going to hit up over a bunker and then hop in the bunker as well to make sure the club works there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Wedge number 1.
Okay. Wedge number 1. Oh, that was beautiful. That stop on that is great.
Yep. Do you get that with your current 60 degree, or do you find it releasing just a little bit more?
Just a touch more. However, the longer the shot, I can put quite a bit of spin on it. So I'd probably get a little less spin than this on my current 60. That was a little heavier and still perfect.
I think we had a good idea of how these wedges performed going through the turf, right? I think we can get a better understanding when we put a little pressure on you. Now, this is where you may really start to notice that leading edge difference because you're starting to manipulate the face a lot more. Yep. So again, if you have anything that stands out to you, I know we did a pretty good job of the design of these wedges, so we take the bias out of that, but you can still see that leading edge sit up just a little bit more depending on the bounce or grind.
Really nice, yeah. Felt like I could open the face up and still get a consistent strike on that.
Okay.
Hey, a little fat, and I've really gotten away with that. That felt really nice. I love the sound.
Your number one here has been your number one so far in both areas. And this has been your number two in both areas. So let's see, if one's standing out in the bunker, then we'll talk. We'll figure out which one we're going to prioritize. But let's hit bunker shots, then we'll have that chat afterwards.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to miss in the bunker, what's your least favorite thing to see? Is it
Thin. Yeah, I hate.
into the lip or sending it over just a little bit?
Yeah, it's usually like a decent strike, a little bit thin, carries way too far.
Okay, so again, wedge number one.
That felt nice, yeah.
Felt good?
Yep.
No concern, no issue. You didn't feel like it was getting stuck or...
It honestly, after like a few shots, it felt like I've had it for a year. It's so sort of comfortable and inspiring. Yep.
Yeah. Your number one out of the two areas, I would say both wedges worked really well, obviously.
Yep.
Was your 08M.
Okay.
So something that you're used to in your 54, you have the 8C, I believe Calais has.
Yep.
So that is our M grind that you see here. Same bounce, very similar grind.
Yep.
The other wedge was the T grind. Have you ever hit the T grind or worked with the T grind?
Never. No.
So it's a very low bounce wedge.
Okay.
Now, for somebody who mentioned that, hey, I miss it thin, I sometimes have the issue in the bunker of also hitting it thin and coming out. That's why the T grind was working really well in the bunker. The sharper leading edge and the narrow sole and the low bounce helped you get into the sand a little bit easier. And then also when you're hitting those shots up over the green, you're able to clip it very, very nice.
Yeah.
You saw a lower ball flow with a lot of spin.
This has been fantastic. I've been taken through my paces with Brendan Rheault, the Vokey wedge fitting specialist here at the Titleist Performance Institute. Brendan, you gave me a couple of different options in the 54 degree, which I play, and the 60 as well. Some difficult shots, some slightly easier shots. What was your final verdict about, the wedges you recommend for me in my game?
Yeah, looking at your swing, you're a very shallow player, right? All the shots that you hit, I really couldn't find a divot in the grass. So I already told me, hey, we need to lean towards a lower bounce option. We still want to give you that variety in the bag. So we went with a little bit of I would say mid to low bounce wedge in the 54. We went with the 10S instead of the 14F. That was also working well, but we were sometimes catching a little low off the face. So giving you the best contact was the 10S. So we tested out all those different shots with the 54. And then we moved into the 60 degree. We hit a lot of different shots. Some shots are almost too easy. I could give you almost any club and you can make it work. But when we started getting something a little bit more challenging, maybe going in the bunker as well, one wedge stood out just a little bit more than the others, and that was the T grind.
Yep.
T grind was working very, very well, and we may do some small minor tweaks to it to just add a little bit more bounce because the T and the M were going back and forth. I think if we could find a bounce in the middle, maybe around 5-6 degrees of bounce and get you that T grind sole, that's going to be the best option for you to play into.
That was fantastic. And overall, what do you think of my short game? And
phenomenal. I couldn't hit those shots, especially on camera. So I'm very impressed. This is the hardest spot that I put people in, and you performed really well. So
awesome. Well, it's only going to get better with custom fit wedges. So thanks so much for spending some time with me and Australian Golf Digest here at the Titleist Performance Institute.